in Quebec has triggered a debate about the safety of carrying crude oil by rail. The volume of oil transported in tanker cars across this country has gone up exponentially in the last few years. As pipelines operate at full capacity, railways are being relied on like never before, even though their staff are being cut back. Shirlee Engel looks at that angle for us.
An overwhelming human tragedy, a sobering environmental disaster.
This horrific disaster in Quebec has really highlighted the risks.
So what's safer, transporting crude by rail or by pipeline?
Rail tends to spill more often per barrel. Pipelines tend to spill a lot more when they do spill. Both of them go through the hearts of our communities.
Those communities, the conduit of North America's oil by rail boom, from 8,000 metric tons in 2009 to over 4.3 million in 2012, according to Transport Canada. That's 140,000 cars full of oil crossing our tracks this year. As the proposed Keystone XL pipeline is stalled in Washington, producers on both sides of the border are relying increasingly on the rails to move crude. Without Keystone, RBC estimates rail shipments will rise by another 42% by 2017. This expert says Lac Megantic bolsters the case for more pipelines.
The value we place on human lives means that we should be accelerating the permitting and construction of these pipelines.
This Calgary-based analyst says the reality is both pipelines and railways are needed to satisfy the growing thirst for oil.
At the end of the day, I think the federal oversight authorities on this will say, this is a tragic incident. It won't necessarily sway our decision one way or the other. They're still going to judge these pipelines on the merits of their individual cases.
In a statement, CN Rail said both modes of transport are extremely low risk. 99.9% of hazardous shipments arrive safely. Still, this tragedy has renewed calls for stricter regulation.
We have spoken in the House numerous times on the cutbacks to rail safety, but we've also spoken about the dangers and the cutbacks to environmental assessments.
It is, I think, inappropriate, quite frankly, at this time to be drawing conclusions and casting aspersions until there has been an investigation.
One thing is certain, this tragedy already has the government and industry taking a long, hard look at making sure this never happens again. Shirlee Engel, Global News, Ottawa.